It was almost an unimaginable scene of human suffering when US troops liberated Germany's first Nazi concentration camp in Dachau. More than 200,000 people were held and over 40,000 prisoners died. The camp had a horrible history dating back to 1933. The Nazi government conducted brutal medical experiments on prisoners and worked them to death. Dachau became a model for the extermination camps that killed millions of Jews and other minorities. But 70 years later, rather than trying to forget this ugly chapter of German history, Germany's leaders are confronting it head-on.
Im Gedenkjahr 2015.
In this year of remembrance, 2015, these former concentration and extermination camps have been firmly brought back into public focus in recent weeks. 70 years ago, one after the other was liberated. Everywhere there was a picture of unfathomable horror. They all admonish us not to forget. No, we will never forget. We'll not forget for the sake of the victims, for our own sakes, and for the sakes of future generations.
Survivors from Dachau, still alive 7 decades later, attended the ceremony and paid tribute to the German attitude, remembering and learning the lessons of Dachau. One American liberator of the camp says they must keep telling the world what they witnessed.
We tell our story, and we enjoy doing it simply because, especially younger people, that we can tell what happened that we know about. Hopefully they will remember when we're gone, and they can repeat some of the information that we give them to keep the remembrance going.
As Germany faces its wartime record, it's seen as a contrast to that of Japan. In the US last week, Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was pressed to apologize for Tokyo's wartime atrocities in the Pacific. He offered remorse but no apology, especially to his Asian neighbors.
The war in the Pacific still holds very painful memories for millions here in the US and, of course, across Asia. And this year, the 70th anniversary since the end of the world's most costly conflict, there'll be more time to remember and reflect, Susan. And, you know, it's interesting, as the anniversaries move across the planet, remember the war in Asia ended much later in 1945. It'll be interesting to see how all the marks of history are commemorated there, in contrast to what we're seeing at Dachau in the last 24 hours.